Well, hello traders. Good morning. Welcome to this live webinar. My apologies for this delayed start. Thank you for your patience and for hanging in there. Really appreciate that. My name is Chris Forsyth from Elite Currency. This is our usual weekly update on Tuesdays. Now, a little bit more special, first of all, because we have a new month, of course, behind us, October, and we have a new month ahead of us. As always, that's, of course, something to look at, and we'll do so through my FX book. And secondly, well, today, of course, is in other ways unique because it is also a U.S. presidential election. Those are not those are not events that happen regularly, only once in 4 years, and of course, so that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to dive into any political analysis on that or such because, politics is a wide spectrum of opinions. And I don't think it's worth going into that. I think that regarding the effect on trading, I must say that I don't really have any strong thoughts on that either, to be very honest, because I think if whoever wins, I think it will be about the same as an effect on the market. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating it, but I don't have really any strong moves that I can see. But you never know, of course. We'll see throughout the day. We'll see throughout tomorrow and maybe this week and maybe even weeks ahead if there is some volatility, strong volatility. There will be some volatility, but I don't think it will be as strong as like the Brexit, for instance. But we'll see. Let's move on and take a look at those results of the EAs in October. All right, Russia should be getting better results because it's now copying trades from Mislav directly. I'm talking about the profit share, of course, model. If you rent EA, of course, then you're choosing your own broker. That's kind of a different process. But let's take a look at all the performances, both with Ultimate EA and Rush EA from Mislav Nikolic. We have full choice. By the way, just as a side note, you can choose 3% risk, you can choose 5% risk, you can choose to rent it. So there's full kind of options there. Let's start, and of course we have LOA EA and Zeus EA. So let's start with LOA EA from our trading buddies Carlos and Nenet. Let's take a look at those live accounts. They had a better October than the months before. Some upbeat news there. Let's take a look. We got two live accounts. As you can see, October ending up almost 8.5% on this one after a losing month in September and more than 10% on this one. So finally, I'm happy to see that we had an okay start in July, but some small drawdown in October, September. With the LOA, patience is needed. This is now trading a couple of months, but it's an EA that you're not going to see, drastic movements in any 1 month. It's just steady as it goes. So before you see that positive equity curve that we expect it to have, I suspect that a fair representation would be a year. So it's going to take time. I guess we're there now. Let's see, on 1/4, over a fourth now. So let's see 9 months from now how it looks like. But good to see at least such a nice month in October with the LOA. Let's take a look at some other stats. You're still overall at break even though, despite the positive month. This one is up 6% actually. And let's see, anything else to mention? Not really, just browsing through some stats. Least trades on Friday, as you can see. London Open advanced, of course, trading the breakout during the London Open. Pretty good steep move up. The drawdown though very low, as you can see, with a max of 10%. So it's a CA that's not gonna, so far is not kind of scaring us with this drawdown. That's a nice benefit there. All right, so I can isolate the results in October. Let's do that before we move on to a new system. There we go. This is the curve in October, mostly all the way up, with a big growth here about in the middle of October, as you can see. And there's some open trades actually that closed, that were not closed in October, but already provided some profit in November, actually. So that's nice. 17 trades, 11 wins. Profit factor of 1.88, very nice. 290 pips gain. And about 1-to-1 average win to average loss. Best trade, 72 pips. No, 91 pips. Worst trades, minus 61 pips. All right, that's LOA. Let's take a look at other EAs. Let's take a look at ZooCA. Profit share members. We have both our own private account and the profit share member account. We can take a look at both. All right, let's see. October 26th. I'm not sure. This doesn't seem to be. It's updated 4 hours ago, so I'm not sure why this graph isn't updated. But anyhow, draw down a little bit higher on our own account, 25%. As you can see, there is some floating loss, but if you take that into account, it's still up 16%. It's a bit slower, 16% or 30%. You know, whatever the numbers are, anywhere in that range. I think now it's not as bad, the floating loss, but it's not reflected here somehow. Whatever the percentage is, it's not bad. It's steady as it goes, and it's not as dynamic maybe in its in its profit, but yeah, so far so good in creating a nice gain every month though. All right, this is the profit share members. This may be more important. As you can see, there was an open loss, a floating open loss. Not because of the system itself, but due to technicalities with the broker. They corrected that. So as you can see, now we're back up at the level that we were. We got full cooperation from the broker to correct that. So that's good. To correct the problems that occurred around this time. So yeah, it was not a system issue. But everything is fine. Drawdown about 14.9 as you can see. And the gain last month, 3.5. And the month also before that, 3.5. And this month already almost 1%. All right, so that's ZooCA, kind of the same rhythm in a way as the months before. Now let's take a look at Ultimate EA from Mislav and myself, and then Rush EA from Mislav Nikolic. So let's do Ultimate profit share members. There we go. Now we talked about this before. The Ultimate EA had a good start in October actually, and there were a couple of trades, long trades that were looking good to me at least. but that didn't reach target, and then a drawdown occurred, and there was a reversal. So it's funny how that can work. Seems like October will be a smashing month, beautiful month at the start, because it was up, I guess, 20, I don't know, 30% maybe even. I'm not sure, but it was a decent amount, and it looked like it was going to hit the targets to double that amount. But fortunately, it wasn't in the cards. It didn't happen. It reversed, and we ended up with minus 6.5 instead. So yeah, now I think we can officially say it's in a weaker section, 3 out of 4 months. I don't count June, which, minus 1.7%. I think it's more like a break even. But 3 out of 4 months loss, of course, certainly a weaker part of its performance compared to the past. So let's see how this month ends up. I hope that it'll snap out of that negative section here. If it doesn't, I would like to see at least 1 out of 2, one winning month out of November or December. If we have both losing months, then it is starting to show a weaker performance than I would say that we've seen in the last years. That would be a negative sign for me, at least. It depends also, the overall loss, the overall performance. If it's twice in a row break even, I guess then it could be okay still. If it loses twice more than 2%, 10%, for instance, then it's certainly the performance is weaker. Being fully honest here, right? And it's going through a rough patch relative compared to the last 4 years for sure, if not longer. So let's hope it doesn't get there. At this moment, it's a weaker part, but I'm not that worried about that, because if you add it all up, it's 3 out of 4 losing months. But if you add it up, the losing months are minus 28, and the winning month is plus 18. So overall, the difference is not that much to the downside. So it's, from my point of view, still acceptable. Patience is needed. It's not easy to wait 5 months to see the account go slightly down. So I certainly understand that, or even longer, maybe some members 6 months. So I certainly understand that. But the overall performance is just a little bit below break even, probably, for most. Now, some could be unlucky. Some could have started here at the peak and they're actually down. Some could have started here at the valley and they're actually up. So this is going to vary from person to person. Overall, I'm not worried. If you look at this, yes, it is not gaining, but it's also not showing any significant downside. So it's just a consolidation zone. So that is not worrying me. So personally, I'm positive. I'm just thinking about what if scenarios and being fully honest about how I see it. Not, and yes, 3 out of 4 months losing is annoying. It's a period of time that it shows that it's doing a bit weaker, right, than in the past, I would say. Although we've had these periods before, don't get me wrong. What would change it would be, once again, if we had 2 losing months again, that would change kind of the structure. Then it would be losing more than we've seen the last 4 years. Now this is still within the norms. This is still within what we expect. So this is nothing strange, and this is part of to be expected, basically. That said, although it's expected, and although it's within the norm, and although it's within what we see in the past, of course, I understand that it requires patience to hang in there for that long. But that's why we also emphasized at the beginning that this is, it's a 6 to 12 month thing at the least. So before you can see maybe that positivity, it can take a while. That's how this EA works. Every EA has a different rhythm. This is how the ultimate EA ticks. So on the flip side, it allowed some accounts to grow more than 1,000% over the last 1.5 years. So I guess that if you want to aim for such growth, there's going to be other drawbacks to it, if you see what I mean, right? Such as this. There's always pluses and minuses, right? That's what I mean. So, 45%. It's possible, I guess. I'm not sure where you started. Are you renting it, or are you a profit share model member? This is the profit share account, by the way. And are you a profit share member of this broker? That's also important, because we had weaker performances with a second broker. I want to mention which one. And the performance was weaker than this broker. And that's a broker-specific thing, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't want to put that broker in a bad spotlight, but yeah, it does matter. And this broker has we just see a better performance with this broker. So yeah, those things are important, and it's not always system related. And in this case, it isn't. I mean, there is a difference between two brokers, which is definitely not system related. So yeah, those things are very important as well. So I'm not getting an answer from A, but yeah, it's possible, of course, if you start at the June 3rd at this peak, you're going to be down. As I said, if you start here, you're down. If you start here, Marco, there was a technical issue. It's possible that what you say is also true. I don't follow that closely, to be honest, because there's so many trades. So maybe both is true. But there was for sure, without betting it out, 1,000%, we have the email proof, and we got compensated by the broker for that. So I have all the proof, I have all the emails. So that's 1,000% true. So there was a technical issue with that particular broker, but they admitted that. They said it was very rare, that it didn't happen 3 years, and they compensated us. So those things can happen. It's also important how they dealt with it, and they dealt with it with excellent way, 10 out of 10, and that's important too. Errors can always occur. It's also about how the follow-up is done and how often those errors occur, and they hardly occur, and the follow-up was excellent. So all good, everything is fine. But that could be only one of the issues. It's possible that the market moved in such a way that it increased the movements, which is very possible. As I said, I don't follow that closely. I trust you on that fully if you say that. But back to Ultima, yeah, definitely good to hear. It's important to work with reliable partners. So if you start here, yes, you're going to be down. It's no other way. There's no other way, indeed. Even if you start here, October 5, you're going to be down. There are not many points at this moment when you're up. Only if you started July 13 or July 9, you're slightly up probably, or maybe even August 27, right? But obviously the current spot is slightly down compared to many of these curves. So that's just, if you're started August 13, you're probably break even, for instance. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it is. It's patience at this moment. Let me show you my own account at this point. And of course, there's not necessarily any guarantee that the market will, or the equity curve will move up now or in the future or down the line. This is all high risk trading within a high risk field, of course, as I often mention. But anyhow, here's my own account. But we had that before. Look at this. Look at this. This is not easy. It even challenged my patience, and I'm very patient. So, I understand that. I feel a little bit more easier now because I've lived through all this. So I feel it's not eating me. It's not like, but I know how it felt. Here it did kind of challenged my patience. Yes, so I know how it feels. And yeah, this is the rhythm. This is how it ticks. Now it doesn't guarantee it will do the same, right? But this is the type of VA that it doesn't provide necessarily a stable, particular, consistent result on a monthly basis. It just doesn't do that. It's just more volatile than that. So that's just to keep in mind. That's it. So let's see. Looks like an ABC correction, by the way, for those that like Elliott waves. But all right, let's see how November ends up. Rush EA, yeah, as I said, had weaker performances than Mislav's own account. So Mislav changed it. It's now linked to his account to get the same results. It's copying so that there's more consistency in the results. So far, up a little, but yeah, it's not. It's basically break even in my view. +2 or +4% is break even in my view. At least it's not much. So let's see if that. Hi A. Yeah, good morning. I already mentioned that. I already asked you if you're a renter or if you are a profit share member, and from which broker you are. If you are a profit share model member, with which broker. Okay, let me know. As I said already before, just now, that if you started here in beginning of June, you're going to be down indeed. Okay, well, definitely, I don't know when you started, but if you're a renter, it's odd that you're down that much, to be honest. I don't know when you start. Well, it depends when you started. When did you start? So yeah, Russia -14%. If you started in April, I think you should be about break even, to be honest. If you're not, you see, we started in April and we're about break even. If you're down that much, I would seriously look at your broker, because it's a huge difference. It cannot be explained by the system unless you manually intervened in trades, which maybe, I don't know if you did that or not. If you didn't, then it's probably the broker, because as you can see here, this also started in April and it's going sideways. It might be down a little bit, but it's not nearly close to 45% minus, as you see, right? It's up a little or break even, or if you started here at this point. If you started, of course, at the other point, it might be down or up. But if you started in April, it shouldn't be that. It should be about break even. It could be a little bit below that. It could be a little bit above that. Those broker differences can happen, and those are fair, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But that much of a discrepancy, yeah, that is odd, and to me, from the first glance, seems broker related. Copy trading is possible through profit share members. If you can open an account with this broker, Key2 Markets, you can join the profit share module, and the trades will be copied. But you need to, of course, be from a country where you can open a Key2 Markets account. So please check that out if you can. If you're from the US, you couldn't, unfortunately. If you cannot open an account with Key2 Markets, I suggest personally taking a look at other brokers. Okay, then what we're going to do is, on my list, is we're going to open the history so you can check what trades we have. It's on my list to do that, by the way, so that you can check our trades, you can compare it to your trades, and you can see where the difference is from. But I suspect that, in my view, I would probably try a different broker, to be honest. Russia up a little bit this month, just started, but down, October ended up with almost minus 14. So let's hope that the copy trading here works, gives us that boost that we're looking for here. Okay, that's Russia. Yeah, there must be a lot of difference indeed. Yeah. So yeah, I will open up. I can do it right now so I don't forget, I guess, for the profit share members. We'll do that. All right, so you can check it out and see the difference, but that will help everyone, I think, get a little bit more grasp of the trades and what's going on. Otherwise, I'm going to check if there are any other questions in our forum. Any questions here? No questions in the forum. And good. Well, let's see. Quick look at the charts right now. Your dollar moving up. Let's see. As I said, I think it will move up in my euro dollar, pound dollar video. It is, but I said also that it's probably going to test resistance and bounce at this resistance. So let's see if we get the bounce. If price breaks through this and breaks through 117.50, we might see it move all the way up to 119.60. But certainly looks like in a big range at this moment between 116 and 119. It's at the bottom of the range, so it could be that the bulls break through this zone. Very critical is 117 and 117.50. If price breaks that, then we're looking at a major bounce. But yeah, if we get a bearish bounce here, then basically what I would like to, for a downside, I would like to see a bear flag like this. This is looking almost too impulsive at this moment. I wanted to see something else. I wanted to see more something like this for downside. So that's not happening. So it's a little bit, it's moving up, but a little bit more impulsively. So I think that the bearish continuation is less likely now than when I mentioned that yesterday in the video. Okay, so it's quite impulsive. Let's see how this 4-hour candle closes, but that isn't looking too good for the bears. I suspected a little bit more bear flag and continuation. That does not seem to be happening at this moment. We're getting a bigger bounce at the previous bottom than I suspected. But yeah, pound dollar also, but it's right at that resistance zone at 130. 129.50. Let's see how price responds, but it's quite impulsive how it's moving up here. It's quite a lot of weakness here on the day of the elections. So let's see. All right, folks. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Sorry for that. This is what I was showing on the euro dollar. Okay, finally. Anyhow, that's it, I guess. Thanks for joining. Great trading. We'll be back tomorrow with the euro dollar, pound dollar video. And yeah, if you have time, of course, please would appreciate your review on us on Trustpilot and Forex Peace Army. We don't have many reviews on Trustpilot, so it would be great if we could just get more feedback than the couple of reviews that we have now, just to get a more balanced, larger sample basically in general. So Trustpilot would be great. And see you soon. Cheers.